Hi guys, in this video I'm gonna show you my setup for video shooting on the Sony A7C II, including the FM menu settings and custom button settings. If you haven't watched my photo setup video, I would recommend you do so before you start this one so that you can have a more thorough understanding. The link is up there. Now before I show you my video FM menu, I just want to let you know you can separate your video and photo settings. By default, these two settings are linked together. What I mean by that is, for example, if you set your picture profile to S-Cinetone Picture Profile 11 in photo mode, but you want to shoot in Picture Profile 10 S-Log3 in video mode, by default, you will have to do that manually. So every time after I shoot a video in S-Log3 and I go back to photo mode, I will have to manually change it back to S-Cinetone. But there is a way to separate the photo and video settings. Go to Menu, Setup, number 3, Operation Customize, and we choose different settings for still and movie. And then just tick the items that you want to separate. Now let's try again. I can have S-Cinetone in photo mode, but once I change to video mode, I can still keep my S-Log3. Alright, now we can start with the FM menu. I have already explained how to set your customized FM menu in the photo setup video, so if you don't know how to do that, go check out that video. The first one, I set it to picture profile. There are 3 profiles that I use most often. The first one is picture profile off. You will get standard color, and you can also choose creative look on the sidebar of your monitor. These looks will give you different effect. It's just like applying a lot to your footage. Another picture profile I use very often is picture profile 10 S-Log3. I set the gamma to S-Log3 and color mode to S-Gamma3.Cine. In S-Log3, you can take advantage of higher base ISO number, and the video will still look very clean. In this example, the base ISO number of S-Log3 on A7C II are 800 and 3200. It means when you set the ISO at these two numbers, your video will look cleaner than, let's say, ISO 2000. I have several different videos explaining how it works and how to expose and color grade S-Log3 footages. Make sure you check them out. And of course, you can use Picture Profile 11 as Cinetone. This profile will give you very natural skin tone and very beautiful color. And the good thing is, you don't have to do any other color grading in post-processing. Of course, you can also install your favorite LUT onto the A7C II. I have another video explaining how to do that. The link is up there. The next one is frame rate. Let's talk about some of the basic settings you will need to adjust before you start filming. First, adjust your frame rate. The difference between 24 and 60 frames per second is that 60 frames per second will give you 2.5 times slower motion. So if you want to show the detail of some fast-moving objects, slowing down the footage can give you amazing visual impact. But you will have to adjust the playback during post-processing on your computer software. There is no difference when you look at it on the camera monitor. If you want a more cinematic look, follow the 180-degree rule. This is a standard in the film industry. So basically, you double the shutter speed number to the frame rate, or at least use the closest number. For example, when I set 24 frames per second, my shutter speed should be 1/48. But we don't have that option, so I will set the shutter speed to 1/50. And when I set 60 frames per second, my shutter speed should be 1/120. This way you can get natural motion blur, therefore more cinematic. When you set it to 60 frames per second, you will notice your footage is cropped 1.5 times. That's just how it works on the A7C II. You can't do anything about it. The good thing is, when you put an APS-C lens on your camera, you won't lose anything because it's already in crop mode. Next, we have steady shot. Basically, just turn it off when the camera is on a tripod or on a flat surface. You can use standard steady shot for most scenarios. There will be no crop to your footage. And if you are moving dramatically or when you are walking, you can use active steady shot, which will crop in for about 1.15 times and give you slightly better stability. Recognition target. We have several different targets to choose from. You really do have to choose the correct target, otherwise it will not work. Next, we have autofocus transition speed. Normally, I set it to around 3 to 5. If you set it too fast, your focus will have very unnatural jump from one object to another, so I think maybe 3 to 5 is acceptable. Next is APS-C mode. I set it to auto most of the time. When you put an APS-C lens on it, it will crop away the black edges. And if you put a full frame lens on it, you can also turn it on to simulate a longer focal length. White balance. Just set it to auto, or if you want more accurate settings, you can adjust the temperature manually. You can also set your audio volume. I set it to 26, which I think is good for recording an instruction video like this. I don't like adding extra microphone, and I think the sound from the camera itself is not bad. Next, we have focus picking. If you're not familiar with this, it's just a kind of display on your camera monitor to let you know which area is in focus. You can see now my monitor has a lot of blue outlines. This is especially helpful when you are using manual focus. You can also change the color and how strong you want your focus picking to be in the menu. Next is auto framing. It will recognize your subject and check it as if there were a cameraman controlling the movement of the camera. I don't use this function very often because it's not always accurate, but it can still be helpful for solo content creators. Focus area. I have a detailed explanation in my previous setting video. Please take a look for more details. File format. You have several options to choose from. Simply speaking, the first one, XAVCHS, will give you great quality and smaller file size, but it is a newer format, so it might be difficult to edit if you are using an old computer. XAVCS 4K and XAVCS HD are like the trade-off between file size and quality, and it is easy to edit. So if you have a powerful computer, choose the first one. Older computer, choose the second one. The two options at the bottom, SI 4K and SI HD, are going to give you the best quality, but they take up way too much space, so I normally won't use them. And between 4K and HD, I don't see any reason to shoot in HD if you have the 4K option. But remember, on the A7C II, you can shoot 5 times slow motion in HD, but only 2.5 times slow motion in 4K. Let's also talk about custom buttons. I use the same custom buttons in photo mode as in video mode, but there is one difference. I set the trash button to Gamma Display Assist. This is very helpful, especially if you shoot S-Log 3 footage. As you know, S-Log 3 footages look washed out. It doesn't have much contrast and saturation, but we can use Gamma Display Assist to simulate how it looks in standard color, so that we can have a general idea of how our final video is going to look like. The rest of the custom buttons are the same as in photo mode. I set the C1 button to clear image zoom. This allows you to widen your focal length range. The AF on button is set to switch between manual focus and autofocus. Alright, I hope this covers most of your video shooting needs. Of course, you can also set your customized M1, M2, and M3 for different kinds of scenarios, but that's a different topic. Please leave a comment to let me know if you have any questions about the settings. If you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.